The 112 emergency number is increasingly called for all kinds of situations, from very urgent to much less urgent. It is always up to the ambulance dispatch center operator to decide whether acute care is needed, in what form, and how quickly. If the dispatcher deploys an urgent ambulance, he assigns an urgency category A1 or A2 to the deployment. If the ambulance care is not urgent, it is a category B. However, the ambulance sector has expanded the urgency classification system for medically logical reasons. Several studies have indicated that these changes will improve ambulance care across the board. The current urgency classification system was expanded to include urgency categories A0, C1, and C2. Urgency category B has been subdivided into B1 and B2. In the case of the new A0 category, the ambulance dispatcher deploys the nearest ambulance to the patient with the highest urgency. A0 cases take priority over all other calls. Patients suffering cardiac or respiratory arrest are categorized as A0 cases. In addition, in exceptional situations, the dispatcher may categorize other types of calls as A0 cases, such as potential fatal bleeding. In cases where the patient is not suffering cardiac or respiratory arrest but their vital signs are possibly critically unstable, the dispatcher will deploy the ambulance at the A1 urgency level. In the event of an A0 case, the dispatcher deploys the nearest ambulance, which can be an available ambulance or an ambulance that is already deployed with a different urgency. The dispatcher ensures that another ambulance takes over the deployment of the reassigned ambulance. A0 has priority over A1 and A2. In A0 and A1 cases, the ambulance lights and sirens are turned on en route. The priority level of A2 urgency category has remained unchanged. An ambulance will be deployed as soon as possible. This patient is not suffering an acute life-threatening injury or illness. For B cases, the division into B1, high complex ambulance care, and B2 medium and low complex ambulance care has now been introduced nationwide. The new C1 and C2 urgency categories are intended for less acute cases. Here, the dispatcher has more time to triage and question the caller more extensively about the situation. In Category C cases, no ambulance is deployed. In the C1 category, the dispatcher may refer the 112 caller to GP acute care, acute district care, or a care coordination center. In C2 cases, self-administered care is advised. These changes mean ambulances are more often available for the most time-critical emergencies, the A0. In short, the improved urgency classification system ensures that patients get the right care faster from the right care provider at the right time and place. The ambulance sector started implementing the improved urgency categories early 2023. 2 years have been set aside for this process. The improved urgency classification system complements developments in care coordination. In fact, to achieve care coordination nationwide, the various urgency categories must be aligned across the entire care chain. The improved ambulance care urgency classification system. The right response for medically logical reasons.